You're welcome, dear viewers. Thank you so much for your following, and we appreciate your subscription. Every time you subscribe, we appreciate you and the views that you give us. Last time we hosted the director of Jesse Johnny, and today we are hosting Dickson Tumulamye. Dickson Tumulamye is a parenting coach. He's a marriage counselor. He writes in Daily Monitor and New Vision articles on marriage and child mentorship. He is married with three children, actually, a beautiful daughter and two handsome sons. Dickson is also a founder of an organization called Men of Purpose. It's a mentorship program for men. Whoever is interested, you can reach out to Dickson, and I assure you, your life will not remain the same. Today, we are proud and happy to host you, Dickson, in this program. Life Stories of Reality is the name of our program. And today we are looking at a coach who has managed all these programs, mentoring. He's working, actually, he has a job. He is mentoring children, he's mentoring husbands and men, aspiring men. He is also a marriage counselor, and he has been able to put all these things together. We are going to look at his background, his childhood. We are going to look at how he has been able to go through the challenges of the youth, his teenage life, his marriage life, and where he is. I can assure you he is a successful man, and you have so much to learn from him. So you're welcome to this program. Thank you so much, Dickson, for giving us your time.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yes, let's hear from you. How did your life start? Where are you born from? Do you have parents? Okay, such things. How is your life from childhood? Please tell us.
Yeah, thank you so much. Greetings to our viewers. We're happy to have you here. Thank you so much for spending your time to watch this program. Once again, my name is Dickson Tumulamye, as you've heard. Now, my background is interesting. I am born from Buhweju district. It's one of the hardest to reach areas. You may not even be knowing it, but it's in western Uganda. For those who know Mbarara and Bushenyi, it was carved out of Bushenyi district and the greater Bushenyi district. So that's where I'm born. And I'm born from a family, from a polygamous background. First of all, my father has now, in total there are now 3 women, but 2 of them are deceased, including my mother, who was second wife, and my mother gave birth to 8 of us. Then our first stepmother had 7. Now our current mom, our stepmother now, the one who is now alive, who got married to my dad after the death of the other 2, has 4. So we are a very big family. I'm the 5th born out of the 8. We have 3 girls and we have 5 boys in the family. And I grew up in that kind of programmer's marriage, programmer's background, you know, where things are not so much good. And also, it's a humble background because my father was, my parents, both of them were peasants. Up to now, my dad is still a real peasant. But by God's grace, I am here, as you see me. God has taken me from one place to another, from one level to another, from grace to glory.
Grace.
To grace. So I thank him so much that he has really seen me through. Yeah. Maybe part of my background also, maybe if I can talk a little more concerning my education. I started my primary education in a school called Katumwe Primary School for my P1C, it can be the class.
Okay.
Then I also studied from Chakwanda Primary School, which is in Uveju. Katikama is in Ushen, Chabjindi, sub-county. Then Chakwanda is in Nyashituko, currently now Nakashaka Town Council, Nyashituko Ward, in Uveju. And then from there, I went to another primary school, which was a church school called Ranger Church School. But now it's no longer in existence. I did P2 from there, P2 up to P4. Then P5 up to P7, I went to primary school, still in Shane. Now it's municipality.
You are one of those that studied in schools that are no longer existing.
Yeah, some of them are not existing. Then from there, I went to Nyashituko Secondary School in Uveju for my O level. And then I went to Valley College in Ushen for my A level.
It's now a university, I understand.
Yeah, it has both university and secondary school up there. Yeah, even the secondary school still there, it's not so much
I have seen
vibrant.
it in the papers.
Then
At
I also
least that one exists.
that one still exists, and even the O level school is also still existing. And the primary school where I finished my primary is also still existing. Then from there I came to Makerere University for my undergraduate degree, and I did my masters from Ghana University, where I'm currently working as assistant registrar in the Directorate of Postgraduate Studies.
That's good. You told us that your family was, your parents were peasants, and finally you lost one of them. How did you manage to go to such schools? Because Valley College, by then it was one of the expensive schools. How did you manage to reach up to the such schools and to come to the university?
It's very interesting. First, when I was growing up, I didn't grow with my parents. So I grew up with my cousin brother, who's actually a pastor. And I remember when I was in primary P5, primary P6, I loved education so much. And because I was staying with a pastor, sometimes he would not be at home. And he was also a peasant. So when I would go to school, they would chase me. So what I would do, I would go home, write a letter in his names, take it back to school and say, dear head teacher, I'm the parent of Dickson. And I say, I promise you I will bring money on this day. I wrote on his back because he was sometimes not at home. He was staying far away from home because of where he was passing from. So that I was so creative, I can say that way. And somehow, you'd study. I remember there was one day I would never forget, I was in P7. So the headmistress chased us before break time. And I went home. And then, because the school was a bit near our home. So at break time, when they rang the bell, I heard it. So I came back, went to break, and then joined class after break with others. So I thought she would not know that I had come. Unfortunately, she came looking for someone and she found him. She said, Dickson, come. Didn't I chase you? I said, yes. Did you bring the money? I said, no.
Disaster.
Did you bring the pen? I said, no. And this time I had not written because I knew she would not come back.
Yeah.
I was just looking at her. She slapped me like this twice on my cheeks. I thought my word
Head
was...
teachers, you have had this.
Yes. Instead of counseling, give me an
Punishing a child for school fees when they don't pay for themselves.
Yes. I have
That
never
was
forgotten that.
so bad.
Yeah. So,
That's bad. I hope you forgave that head teacher.
yeah, of course I forgave her because
Yes.
she was doing her role.
Yeah.
But somehow, my dad also loved education because from O level up to the time I finished my bachelor's, one was taking good care of me, paying my school fees. Somehow, actually, when I was in O level and A level, in O level, my dad had we put a forest, but trees.
Okay.
Yeah, so which I can explore a forest. We used to cut firewood and send to the school. So I was studying on school fees from firewood, which would cut from our trees, or sometimes we buy from neighbors cheaply and then we sell to the school. If I've not supplied firewood for this term, we do negotiate with the head teacher, and then we do it another term, or maybe during the whole day, or any time. So somehow that one helped me. But also another thing is that my brother was a secondary school teacher. Somewhere he had also managed to become a secondary school teacher. So sometimes when we were in the same school where I was doing my audio, so he would somehow beg for me. Sometimes he would go for a boy's PTA. But life was not so much easy. But mostly, and also had tea, because in Beju we have tea farmers. So we also selling tea, and then we get some little man and top up on the firewood, and sometimes my brother would come in. All levels tea was the same thing. There's no single day they came to chase other students in class that I was not chased. Right off from primary when I was a pupil, and then second school, every time they were chasing, especially in primary and A level, I was always chased. But God was gracious. So what I did, because I love education, I want to go to the university. I said I must go on government scholarship. So I read hard, I read seriously, and thank God I made it on government scholarship, and I came to Makerere where I did my bachelor's.
Wow. That is an interesting story. So this is speaking to teenagers and other people that are thinking you do not have school fees, and some parents who looks at the trees and thinks they cannot afford school fees. Dickson has told us his story. It was not that easy. He did not have money that was for. He would be sent for school fees every time they sent others, and he would return. He earned himself a punishment of a double slap. That was very high.
Yeah, actually, in Oliver, I was when I was in my senior 4.
Yes.
In the whole days, I was I would start school, and there was a plantation with the plantation and get money.
I used to see it at the university. At a certain point, they called it work-study program. So he worked and studied. He served in the school. That takes an understanding and a will.